No one is your mate. Whoever said you had a mate? No one is your... Okay, I'm going to come back with the full part of this, but before then, click somewhere to subscribe to my channel and also click the notification button so that every time I release a video, you would see it just as soon as it comes out. And let us talk about this thing of mate. Who is your mate? I'll see you. Hi there, I am StephREDD, your identity, self-re-engineering and communication coach. And I have come to remind you that no one is your mate. So I was speaking to my 11-year-old earlier and he was telling me, I just noticed that he's been having mood swings recently. Someone said he's getting into teenage age. I've spoken to a lot of teenage parents. I'm young in the journey and I trust God for assistance stepping into this phase of having children get into their teenage years. And they say this thing of, oh, it comes with teenage experience. They get to be moody, and from the best that I can do, I question things. I learn to question, I learn to ask. Because nobody just wakes up one day and becomes a particular way. Something always triggers a behavior. And if we do not learn how to identify what is causing a particular behavior, we enable it up until it gets to the point where we can't correct it anymore. So I chose to go the path of, no, I ain't gonna leave you to say you're about to enter teenage years. No, I'm your mother. Let's talk about it. And I'm asking and I'm asking and I'm patient to ask. I ain't gonna leave it for someone else to come ask my child. I would ask and I will be patient to wait. And here I am asking this young man. And we just went back and forth after what we had first had. I had first had a yelling burst with him, which I apologized for. And then I conversed better and then opened a doorway to allow him speak. And opening that doorway, I actually switched into my coach mode. I moved out of the mother mode. So I shut up my empathy was high, but I tried not to be emotional. When I tried not to be emotional, I try not to cry, because typically when he starts crying like that, I want to say, oh, baby, no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do baby. I wanted to maintain my place of thought so that I could question with balance. And when I was asking him, even though my son, I was actually treating him like I was engaging a client, and I was asking some specific questions and he was spilling. And he let me know that he had been somewhat weighed down by the fact that some people that used to be his classmates from up to year 5 are now his seniors because they have skipped year 6 and gone to year 7, which in our day they used to call skip primary 5 and go to JSS1. Okay, for those that don't understand primary. And when I left him to speak, and he just said they are going to be his seniors now, and when they used to be his classmates, he was looking towards exchanging ideas and educational knowledge with them, but now that they've gone ahead, they're going to be his seniors and blah 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 blah. And I said, was that it? He said yes. So I asked so interestingly, let me flash back. When he was about entering year 6, my husband and I actually wanted him to do year 6 because we just felt, hey, why skip? Go through the process, learn all you need to learn. You have your life ahead of you. It depends on how you choose to see it. You don't have to jump because you are who are you trying to impress? Follow the process. And I had a bit of anxiety that he was going to feel the way he's feeling now. But when I asked him then, interestingly, he was the one that came to meet me and said, Mommy, some of my mates said they're going to year 7. I don't want to do year 7, go to year 7. I want to do year 6. So that pretty much took away the pressure from me. I was like, oh, if the person that I'm concerned about is not concerned, he insists that he wants to do year 6. Fine. So that's in line with the order that we wanted for him. So that's great. So to now hear him say this, possibly something must have happened in school. Someone may have said something in school, which is why we need to learn to listen to what not just our children, but our friends, our spouses, the people around us are not saying. so that we can draw knowledge from it and respond from a better place of understanding and offer balanced response to them with the balanced perspective as well. So when he said they're not his mates, that he's no longer, they're now going to be his seniors, I quickly corrected that and I said, they are your seniors, they may be your seniors in school, but not necessarily your seniors in life. They may be your mate in school, but not necessarily your mate in life. And I had to keep repeating that. I had to keep repeating that. Senior in class, but not senior in life. That who you become in life is going to be dependent on what you do, the choices you make, and how you commit yourself to it. And I was quick to tell him the story of my life when I repeated in secondary school. That particular story, I'm going to write it in a book. That was my first experience of raw shame. Shame wore me a crown, it wore me a cloak. Shame because my mother came to school and made a scene. It's not about me, but focusing on this thing of shame, of how we get pressured because we are trying to compete with people, because we're trying to be like people, because we have made people our yardstick, forgetting that they that compare themselves with themselves are not wise. And then I repeated in secondary school all the embarrassment, but would you have known that I did if I didn't mention it? Some people didn't know I repeated. They thought the SS1 class where I repeated, because I repeated in SS1, the class that I went to, some of them thought I just came to the school because they didn't know me as a senior when they were in GSS3, because the way it was, the junior dormitory from GSS1 to GSS3 were in a different part of school, and the senior dormitory, SS1 to SS3, were in a different part of the school premises. So they were in their junior secondary when I was in SS1. So by the time I was supposed to move to SS2 and I repeated SS1, they just moved to the senior part of school, and that's where some of them got to know me. So they just felt, so it's now that I'm looking at all of that. I assumed that the whole world had seen my shame and I should just die. They didn't even know. And that's what happens sometimes when we think that everybody is, no one is looking at us, or everybody is looking at us. Everybody is watching me. We all have our own struggles. Everyone is hustling. Everyone is trying to find relevance. Everyone is trying to be. Everyone is trying to create an impact or create a legacy. And if they even choose to talk about you at all, it's because you flew by. Or it's because the sun chose to rise on your matter. And the sun takes turns. So that it has risen on your matter today doesn't mean to rise on theirs tomorrow. So we want to be mindful how we come to the table to judge people, because we never know when the sun is going to change position to us. That out of the way. I was telling the young man about how I repeated in secondary school in SS1. Who remembers today? It hasn't changed who I am. It hasn't changed the identity I have of myself. And I thank God that I had a healthy identity when I stumbled on my author book, called it Author Book Slum Book. This book is 25 years old, and all the things that people wrote about me in it. And just looking through it, I was like, wow, I haven't changed. I've actually gotten worse. I haven't changed. My burst of energy and my happy, excited person has been since then. But some people lose theirs in the course of life because something happened. And as a matter of fact, I lost mine somewhere in my career years. I lost it because I was trying to be who I wasn't. For those of you that have watched the video of the alter ego, of my alter ego, one of the videos I posted, just watch it. I talked about how StephREDD used to be my alter ego. StephREDD was my alter ego because I didn't see, I was afraid of merging my human resources certified professional charisma with the happy-go-lucky laughing and singing and dancing up and down human. How are they going to accept me the way I was? I had to be all pristine, nice, coated. I had to be all that because I thought that was how I was going to be accepted. So I dumped my natural proclivities because I was trying to be who I thought would be accepted. And that is how many times we lose our genius. And I'm glad that Somewhere along the line, I was able to find my center and just be. I am a certified, globally, locally certified HR professional, a certified life coach, a certified behavioral therapy practitioner. I sing fantastic. I act fantastic, even though I've been off stage for a while. I dance, and I love to dance. I used to be a dance instructor. It's been many years, but you see the body. I do all that, but those are the expressions of my genius. And I am able to bring laughter to the table. I'm able to get into my training rooms, and I have a training. I'm able to get them to dance, and I dance with them. I choreograph, and we do it together. I'm able to get them, I'm able to sing at some point, because those are expressions of my genius. So if I'm trying to hide those things because I'm trying to be what someone else wants me to be, I lose myself at the end of the day. I lose my center because I'm trying to be someone else. Because I'm trying to keep up with an impression that I think someone else has of me, or I think someone else should have of me, without checking the impression that I have of myself. So bringing all that in, if we had, many of us are the way we are because we didn't have stewards and guardians and caretakers to help us navigate the curve of this identity crisis that happens from childhood, somewhere between age 6 and 7, the identity crisis that happens when they're crossing into their teenage years and puberty springs. Those are the times when we're supposed to take charge and not say, oh, it's puberty that is coming, and leave them. No! That is when they're trying to take hold of their identity, to understand what is happening to me. How am I perceiving my world, and begin to assert myself correctly? And what happens sometimes is actually our fear. And I've noticed that. I've come to recognize that in trying to cover up my fear, I become aggressive. And it took me recognizing that to now learn to listen to myself, check myself, and say, hey, you are afraid here. Deal with that fear. And when I recognize that I yell or something, or I raise my voice at my boys, I call them and I apologize, because I let them know that that is not a habit that they should repeat, because they will become what they see. I am the environment that they see now. The home and the expressions that I create for them, they are forming, they are being programmed, they are learning a pattern. So when I release a wrong pattern, I have to quickly correct it. So when I yell or I say something that I shouldn't have said, I'm quick to say, swallow my pride, and I recognize that ego, it is fat-free. It is calorie-free. Swallow it. I ain't gonna be fatter than I already am because I swallowed my pride. No. But just learn to, for the sake of the ultimate result that I want, I learned to swallow my pride and let them know that, hey, my ego got the best of me when I was yelling. I was actually feeling afraid. I am sorry, it is wrong, I shouldn't have. I should do better. And I'm apologizing because I do not want you to learn it. In the same way, I'm able to tell the story that I repeated, but it hasn't defined who I have become. And those are the things that we need to learn to do for the younger ones, the upcoming ones, and also to find for ourselves, because some of us, we are learning it in our older ages, how to be assertive, how to discover our geniuses, how to embrace our geniuses, how to embrace our uniqueness, how to define or redefine our identities in a way that it is beneficial to us and beneficial to the people around us. So this is a charge to let you know that you are uniquely genius, you are exceptional the way you are. Where you know you need to improve, commit to the process. Don't be too proud to want to correct yourself, to want to listen to yourself and improve on yourself, to ensure that the better version of you comes out every time, and you don't achieve it once. You don't just do green shape and become a better version of yourself. No, it's a progressive experience. Who you are today is what you have become over time. Who you would be tomorrow would also be as a result of who you become by what you see, what you hear, what you experience, the environments that you spend your time in. Okay? And when you are able to build that center, you would recognize that no one is your what? Your mate. Everyone is a genius. And in the words of Albert Einstein, when we continuously judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live the rest of its life believing that it is stupid. And we need to stop living stupid lives because we are comparing ourselves with ourselves. And people who do that are not wise. No one is your mate. Remember that StephREDD said so. No one is your mate. You are in a league all by yourself. And I like to say that song, you are amazing just the way you are. Yes. Never forget that, and remember that no matter what comes or goes, no matter what gives in or doesn't, you never give up until you win. Before I sign out, I want to remind you, sign up for my communication program. I'm going to spend time teaching you how to project from your center, how to communicate your essence and your genius after having identified your genius, knowing how to find equilibrium, how to build equilibrium, and refine and redefine yourself so that you can communicate correctly. If you want to improve your accent, that's part of it, but that's not the most important part of it. If you want to improve your diction and your elocution, that's part of it, but that's not the important part of it. The most important part is the behavioral part and what makes you communicate the way you do so that you can track the pattern, correct it, and project correctly. Okay? It would be great to see you in class. Looking forward to seeing you there. Up until then, take care of yourself, be strong, be amazing, and never give up until you win. I am StephREDD. Have an amazing day. Bye.